There's a lot of people talking about Disney's D3 event that took place the other day, and the game that really stood out the most was the Illusion Island game, which is supposed to be coming out in 2023, starring Mickey Mouse, and it's also going to include Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy. We have no idea when it's going to come out, but we do know it's going to be released in 2023. It's going to be a Switch exclusive, and this is the first Mickey game that we've seen, or like the first main, like, high profile Mickey game that we have seen almost, or probably at least a decade at this point, because I think the last big Mickey game that I can remember that came out was back in like 2012, which was it was like the Epic Mickey 2 Power of 2, and I believe there was a Mickey game that came out for the Nintendo 3DS. Can't remember the name of it, but yeah, it was like those two games, and there was also the Epic Mickey game of 2010, which was probably the most successful one out of the names I just listed. The Epic Mickey 1 game came out back in 2010. I believe it managed to reach somewhere around the ballpark of 2 million in terms of sales, and after Epic Mickey 2 was released, a lot of people were like turned off by the series, and I think Disney Interactive felt like they had to put the series to rest temporarily because gaming had changed a lot in the past decade, and you had like a lot of video games within the RPG and action adventure genre that was starting to become more and more popular. A lot of first person shooters, third person shooters, survival horror games that were all 3D that became very popular. And for the most part, 2D platformers were overshadowed during the 2010s decade, but it does seem like 2D platformers are starting to become popular again. Just look at Sonic Mania, and it's not just platformers, also like 2D games in general are starting to become a little bit more popular again because people become nostalgic. Just look at Streets of Rage 4 from 2020. That game was way more successful than people thought it would be. And something that people should know, or already know, just based off of looking at the artwork, it's based off of the Mickey Mouse animated series that came out back in 2020, and I believe that's something that you can only see on Disney Plus. Unfortunately, like all the good stuff, you have to pay for it now because God forbids we have anything that's good that's on free television anymore, and I believe like the artwork is based off of the Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse, and unfortunately, I think that only had like one season based off of what I know, and but it was like very popular. But then there's like a lot of like Mickey, cartoon like series that have been around over the past couple of decades. And the thing is, Mickey Mouse, even though he's not as popular as he was back in like the early part of the 20th century, Mickey Mouse is still a big enough name to a point where casuals know who he is. Almost everyone who like knows who he is. Anybody that knows anything about Disney knows who Mickey Mouse is. So obviously Mickey Mouse is an attraction. As far as gaming is concerned, it's just that nowadays you have like more options and stuff like that. So even though like Mickey Mouse is a big name, I do feel that like this game can go one or two ways. It can be a game that breaks over 1 million in terms of sales, or it could just be a game that attracts or appeals to hardcore Disney fans. And honestly, it's not like it's going to be on multiple gaming platforms. It's going to be a Switch exclusive. Now, that could potentially hinder the overall sales success of Illusion Island, or it can help it because a lot of people have Switch consoles, and Nintendo Switch is probably the most. It's probably the most, I wouldn't say profitable, but more people have Nintendo Switches in the year 2022 than they do PlayStation 5s or Xbox Series X's, because those two game systems came out like 2 years ago or what have you. But yeah, you look at Illusion Island. It has a pretty basic plot. You have co-op multiplayer gameplay that allows up to 4 players at a time. You also have basically a intriguing storyline where players have to recover 3 mystical books and save the world from disaster. So it's a very basic plot. It's not really heavily story driven. I think this is something that is just for people who are really into 2D platformers, those who are huge Disney fans, and I guess those who are just like huge Mickey fans. And I do think that this is a game that looks like it's going to be a ton of fun because I saw the trailer and basically it looked adventurous and it was also comedic as well. So that's just enough to get people to, I guess, buy the game in of itself. But it all depends on like what the price is going to be. Hopefully it's nothing too ridiculous, and I'm not going to sit here and guess on what the price is going to be because right now we don't even know what the rating for the game is. We don't know if it's I mean most likely it's going to be like rated E or what have you, but at the same time, the rating's still pending, and we still have no idea when the game is going to be released. We just know that the game is going to be released in 2023 as a Switch exclusive. And as far as how popular this game could become following its upcoming release, who knows? Depending on how successful this game is, we might get another Mickey Mouse animated series, or we'll probably see a continuation of the wonderful world of Mickey Mouse later down the line.